Alrighty, hi kids. So here we are with lesson 14 for our Eureka math today. And the objective is to divide decimals with a remainder using place value and a written method. I know we went over this in class a little bit, but if you want to review it, here it is. So we're taking whole numbers with decimal fractions. So it's all mixed up here. And then dividing it by a whole number. And we're using this written method, our place value chart, and showing how the divisor would be the number of sections that we'd break it into, and how to use all these little place value discs to be shared and then carry them over as that regrouped part. And then we're connecting it to the standard algorithm and showing it step by step. Like what's happening here when I share? Well, I'm using all of these when I divide evenly by 3, but for 7, we're going to have an extra. This is the extra in the standard algorithm, and then it comes down and it makes a set of 12, which is then evenly divisible by 3. So that is what we took down for our notes today. Pause the video and copy them if you need to. And then here's our book, and we're going to do this together if you didn't get a chance to in class today. So, and I'm going to try to do this before the AC kicks back on. I turned it up so it won't be humming in the background. So draw place value discs on the place value chart to solve. Show each step using the standard algorithm. You can do it as you go, or you can do it at the end. Sometimes I forget, so we'll just do it at the end. So you take your 4 and 236 thousandths and you model it. 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. Okay, 2 tenths, 3 hundredths, 6 thousandths. So that's what it should look like up at the top, and I always try to make 5 in a row and then do the next 5. You can make it look however you want, but be consistent. Now we start dividing it by 3. This is the 3, okay? This is our 3 sections, 1, 2, 3. So start sharing. We always start, we talked about this, in the largest place value position so that we can regroup, because this is 10 times the value of this. So if I regroup it, then I'm putting one of these is worth 10 of these. So let's start sharing. 1, 2, 3. Now these are all done. Okay, but what about this guy? This one has 10 times the value of the tenths, so one of these is worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these. Now what's happening here on the standard algorithm looks like this. I had 4, okay, and I'm dividing by 3. So how many 3's can you fit in 4? Well, I can fit 1, and then when I use those by multiplying, then I will have 1 left. So I use these, 1, 2, 3, 3 used, 1 left, and then this will get regrouped with the tenths. And sometimes, you know, it's easier if you just say, yes, I got to keep track of my place value positions. You can put the decimal down. It might help you. Okay, so I have 12 tenths now, 12 tenths. And I'm going to divide all 12 tenths into these 3 groups. And so you count like this. 1, 2, 3. Don't forget, you're counting to 12. Don't lose track. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that now you've accounted for all of those, and there is nothing left over here. So for the standard algorithm, when I divide all 12 tenths by 3, I get 4 in each section, okay? And you can prepare to write your standard form answer below. This one has 1 in each section. This one has 4 in each section. So 4 times 3, or 4 3 times, is 12 tenths, and I have none left over. But I'm not done. I still have 3 hundredths that I will now divide by 3. 1, 2, 3. Done, done, done. Okay? So there's 1 in each section. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract and get 0. There's 1 in each section. So write your standard form. And then there's nothing to regroup, so we're going to go down to the thousandths place. And I have 6 thousandths. And this is also evenly divisible by 3. So count to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 2 in each space. And then the standard algorithm. If I have 6, I have to put them into 3 groups. There are 2 in each group. And 2 times 3 is 6. And finish it out and put a little happy face in your 0. You do not want to leave the 6 hanging. That would be wrong because then it looks like you have a remainder of 6, and you can't have that when your divisor is 3. Remember, this always has to be less than the divisor, otherwise you can't go on. And that's just going back to our cousin step, our steps for division. You have to compare. That cousin step is for comparing, okay, to make sure that you can go on. So your final answer, 1 and 412 thousandths. 1 and 412 thousandths. So moving right along, model this number, the dividend, in discs. 1 1, 3 tenths, 2 hundredths, 4 thousandths. 1 and 324 thousandths. So now I'm sharing by 2. Okay, this is my divisor. 2 sections or 2 groups. So right off the bat, you notice decimal up, decimal up. We're going to do Beethoven, but the opposite way. Decimal up. I can't divide 1 by 2, so I will immediately regroup this one. This 1 1 is worth 10 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now I'm done with that there. I have nothing here, but I have 13 tenths. Looking at the 2, my bad. 13 tenths. And I'm going to divide these 13 into these 2 sections. So don't forget what you're counting to and start sharing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Uh-oh. That means I have an extra one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we have taken care of all 12 of these evenly divided. There are 6 in each section. Okay, 6 times 2 is 12 tenths with 1 left over. So turn this one into 10 hundredths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So hooray, we got to regroup that one. Now it's accounted for. And I'm going to regroup it with the 2 hundredths that I already had. Now I have 12 hundredths, and sure enough, I do. 10 plus 2 is 12. Okay? So start sharing these into your 2 groups. So count to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Go to the next line. That takes care of all 12. And again, 12 divided by 2 makes 6 in each section. You use all of them with none left over. But I'm not done yet. I still have thousandths. Don't leave it hanging out here. Okay? I have 4 thousandths that I need to divide evenly into these 2 groups. Easy peasy. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my 4. There are 2 in each group. 2 times 2 is 4. There are none left. Put a happy face because we like it when there's nothing left. Okay, so finish out your standard form. There are 6 here. There are 2 here. And then your final answer is 0 and 662 thousandths. All right, to the back. Now that you understand this place value the purpose of the place value chart and how it connects to the standard algorithm, then we're just going to be using the standard algorithm. Like I was saying, you don't really use these place value charts ever in math. It's just to help your understanding so you can figure out, what do I do with these numbers and why? Why is it important? So 3 is your divisor, 78 hundredths is your dividend. First thing you should do, step 1, is put your decimal in the quotient. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. Do it first. Don't wait. You have nothing in the ones place, so we are regrouping our nothing. We move on into our tenths place. I have 7 divided by 3. I want to use as many of these as possible. So I can have 2 times 3 is 6 of the tenths with 1 left over that I will regroup into the hundredths place. So I've used up 6 tenths, 1 left over gets regrouped into the hundredths place. So 18 hundredths divided by 3 are into these 3 groups, or 3 goes into 18 6 times. That's 18, and I finish with my 0. Make a happy face. Do not leave it with 18. That would be wrong. And then put your answer up here. Okay, next one. 4 is the divisor. 7 and 28 hundredths is the dividend. Decimal up. 4 can fit into 7. Okay, remember, if this is the total number of pieces and this is the number of groups, then I can fit 1 in each group and use up 4 of my counters with 3 left over. Can you imagine having to do all those little place value discs? That would be 30 discs because it's 10 times the value of this column. But that's okay. Now I have 32 to choose from. So I'm going to divide 32 by 4, but this is evenly divisible, and I have nothing left over. Final number in the hundredths place is 8 hundredths. That's evenly divisible 2 times. Use all of them and get nothing left over. 1 and 82 hundredths is your answer. Okay, finally, 5 into 17 and 45 hundredths, decimal up, put it in right away, and then start dividing. Now I cannot fit 5 into 1, so I'm going to regroup that 110 into the ones place. So this has 10 times the value, so it becomes 17 ones. So how many times can I fit 5 into 17? Or if I had 17 place value discs broken into 5 groups, how many would be in each group? And that's where you have 3. Multiply to show how many you're going to use up all together. It's going to be 15 with 2 left over. Now the 2 would get regrouped into the tenths place for 24 tenths. And remember, we were talking about this. Does it matter where I put my digits in the quotient? It absolutely matters. You must have it over the right place value position. This is not a line for your answer. It is place value positions on the top as well as underneath. So line up according to place value. 24 tenths divided by 5, and you get your 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Subtract and get 4. That is in my compare step. This is smaller, so I go ahead. Bring down the 5, that's the bring down. 45 divided by 5, because I have 45 hundredths, that's 9. 9 times 5 is 45. Subtract, and you're done. 3 and 49 hundredths. Okay, so moving on to the word problems. I think we did this one in class, so we'll just do it again real quick right here. We talked about what happened with Grayson's math. Grayson wrote this problem in her math journal. Use words, numbers, or pictures to explain why Grayson's thinking is incorrect. Well, if you set up the problem, 1 and 47 hundredths divided by 7, you can see immediately that this amount is very small, 1 and a fraction. So how on earth could I have 2 7s in this? Well, I really can't. So Grayson made a mistake in place value. This has 14 tenths, not 14 ones, 14 tenths divided by 7. So no ones are divisible, but 14 tenths are divisible 2 times. Sorry, it's kind of squished. For 14 tenths, we use them all. Then we have 7 hundredths, that is 1. Use all of those, and there's nothing left. Okay, so to explain, well, essentially, 2 1/10 is too big. Okay, so she did not align her PV, place value, positions correctly. Okay, and so that's really the problem. We should end up with a very small number, and this is more appropriate here instead of this one. Moving right along. Mrs. Nguyen used 1 48/100 meters of netting to make 4 identical mini hockey goals. How much netting did she use per goal? This is the total. This is what she's dividing it by. If you just use the standard algorithm, and you're welcome to set up a place value chart and do all the discs, but I am going to use the standard algorithm, decimal up, divide, not able. Divide, yes, I'm able. If I have 14 tenths and I split them into 4 groups, I could fit 3 in each group to use a total of 12 discs with 2 left over. Each of these is worth 10, so it's worth 20, and then you add it to the 800ths and you get 2800ths. And now this is, again, look for those compatible numbers. If you know your times tables, this is all going to be so easy because it's 7 times 4 is 28, and that will give you your answer and a 0 left over. So how much netting did she use per goal? And this would be meters, label it correctly, of netting per goal. Finally, on the last problem, Esperanza usually buys avocados for 94 cents a piece. During a sale, she gets 5 avocados for $4.10. Yay, love avocados. How much money did she save per avocado? Use tape diagram and show your calculations. Okay, so this one, you know, I probably should have done it with you in class because now I'm looking at it going, oops, we didn't talk about tape diagrams today. But that's okay. We will do it now and you guys can follow along. And if you don't understand on the homework tonight, we'll talk about it more in class. So don't worry. Esperanza usually buys her avocados for 94 cents a piece. Let's make a, oops, don't want to put a hole in it. Let's make a tape diagram. And she gets 5 avocados. Hope this is big enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's call each one, okay, this will be our 94 cents a piece for the usual. And you can fill this in if you want. This is all money I like. Ah! Oh man, shoot. Okay, I'm gonna record this later. I forgot we have a lockdown drill. Dang. Oh, it's wrecking my video. There's nobody here, of course. Okay, well, I'll finish this later and then I'll probably record it on a tiny little video in a few minutes. Bye.